Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake. Happy Shohei Ohtani Day, 1-7. How about MLB coming out with that? He still plays. That's interesting. He is really good. I don't know. I'm not going to knock it. Whatever. Promote that guy. It's special. Today, we're going to open with baseball and a lot of it. He talked football the last episode. What the heck? I like it. I like sports. My original AOL username, Sports Jake. But the baseball stuff's working. Don't get me wrong. And we talk some baseball at the end. And today, we're going to go, I'm going to say it's kind of the signature Wake and Jake episode. Although tier list season is coming, Jolly said, hey, let me know the schedule. Shut up.
Just counting it out. We should probably record the first one in like 2 weeks.
Holy smokes. 2 weeks and we start ranking positions. It starts getting real, people.
If we're trying to get ahead at all.
Because I guess those have an argument. But going to do the 30 for 30, not the ESPN deep dive into fun things like the U and OJ's murder. We go through all 30 baseball teams, the storylines, to see where we are. Haven't done one since basically the start of the offseason. We did 30 trade candidates from each team. That's different. The Edward Cabrera trade has kind of happened, but it also hasn't. So we can talk about the smoke and mirrors around that, maybe when we get to the Cubs, or maybe when we get to the Marlins, or maybe when we get to the Yankees. How fun is that? So your baseball team will be talked about today on this program. I don't know how many shows around the world can say that. Think about that. Do I have a little pep in my step right now?
You're pepped.
I was kind of down and out. Down and out, Stephanie. I wasn't down and out. I guess I just finished my coffee. Went to Blank Street today. Bad time.
Wow.
So hate to be a non-ad here. And it's nothing against the coffee, which, again, I guess we should be giving credit to that right now. The place was a sauna. Had to Jakey 2 jackets that's been rolling around town these days. Controversial look. Some people into it, some people not. Had to take both jackets off, and I was dripping sweat. And that's not what you want to do when you're getting a cup of coffee in winter in New York City. Anyways, we will go through each 30 teams and kind of our current storylines. And maybe if there's, again, in that tight minute or where we can trim around it, try to see what the big topics are, or if you know the big topic, kind of if there's something around the fringes that we're missing right now. And then at the end, I think I'll just mention what's coming up football-wise, because, God, football, schedule-wise, the lads have it figured out. With one college semifinal Thursday, one college semifinal Friday, NFL playoff football Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So there's football finds a way to win. And man, they do it well. And I'm excited for this weekend. So let's dive right into it. If you're new to our MLB 30 for 30s, welcome. Try to give each team a minute. Again, we play by no rules here. I will cut a couple of the bad teams short. Sorry. A couple of the interesting teams will get a little extra. I think it's normally like 32, 33 minutes, but still a little respect there.
Yeah.
A little respect there.
Rusilla, your guy,
Whoa.
10 good minutes.
Wow.
That segment's off in 20 minutes.
You're going to bring that to me. Yeah, and I guess I owe the people because I did say I was going to do 2 minutes on football, and I did about 25.
It's never been a math problem.
2 of my favorite games I've ever seen. Okay. Let's dive right in, people. And yeah, the way I also do this is I normally just click through Fangraphs alphabetically. And it's listed AL and NL, which I guess is also alphabetically when you think about it. So we'll be getting to your team in the next 30 minutes or so. So with that, oh, I need to get my phone timer out. I was charging it too.
Ooh, you were getting juiced.
It's okay. I'm at 79% battery. We can work with that. Let's see. Edward Cabrera trade? We'll talk about it. It's going to come up.
Maybe 3 times.
Clock app? Is that the name of it?
Clock app.
It's listed as clock.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
In the phone updating, that app's been the biggest loser in all of it.
Man, I hate...
That's the one that I just have not been able to lock in on, and I'm like, oh, wait, is this it?
Hate to go old head on everyone, because I know this is the standard. This new iPhone update has been killing me. The maps has been killing me. If you click on a location and you want to like share it or anything, if you want to do anything, the button is not where you think it is. The half invisible, visible stuff. I mean, this is old. This is old boomer stuff. Anyways, clock app is out. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, someone's about to walk in. It's Jeff DePalma. Yes. All right. You're handsome. Jeff just let out a very subtle thank you, Jake. Can't be doing that. I guess handsome's fine, right?
Handsome's good.
Handsome's good. That's professional. Guy to guy, that's clean.
Yeah.
Is that messed up? Answer down below. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. If you remember alphabetically now, it's the Athletics because they don't have a home. And it's one of the newest big topics in baseball right now that they didn't trademark athletics. A lot of people are going to dunk on that. I still don't fully know what to do. I guess kind of my life perspective these days, I think the world is kind of fake and run by just money, that I think this is a play by Las Vegas just to get more money out of them. Like, if you need things to work, you need things to work. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I know a bunch of fans claimed athletics too. Let's see what happens. End of the day, I'm going to be honest, I don't super care. I know people don't like that. There's just this LOL athletics thing out there, and everyone hates the owner. That I get it. I like athletics baseball. The lineup looks great. Jeff McNeil in the middle. Do you remember they traded for him? Kurtz, Langoliers, who went nuts at the end of last year. Soderstrom extended. Rooker, McNeil, Wilson, Butler, Muncy, Denzel Clark. They need one more starting pitcher. I mean, they need more starting pitchers than that and a bullpen. But again, I think they are going to be fun. Again, that offense is going to be very real. It just sucks how they get treated on the whole. Baltimore, go O's go. Speaking of a lineup, soup to nuts. The Orioles are there. We haven't talked about them in a while because they got their bidding done with Alonso and Ward. They did kind of sure up the pitching with the Shane Baz trade, and Zach Eflin returned, which I know Eflin got banged up, and when he was out there, he got hit last year. But Zach Eflin before that was pretty well respected as a middle-tier starter. That right now they are Rogers, Bradish, Baz, Kremer, Eflin, Helsley, Kittredge, Keegan Aiken, a couple other names in the pen that won't get you super excited. They are one of the teams that is most ready to start the season for next year, Cade Povich in AAA. Let's see if they're done. Remember, there were some rumors that they weren't. We talked about their payroll a little bit. They could be done, and they would be set up pretty well. Very excited for this Orioles season. Boston, alphabetical. The Boston Red Sox. Still haven't made the move. Supposedly there's an offer out there for Alex Bregman. Makes sense, supposedly in that Matt Chapman plus range of 6 years, 180, something along those lines. Again, his influence on the team, the whole story, it would make sense with another righty bat. Wilson Contreras, man, another impact righty when you start sliding down. Wilson Contreras and Trevor Story. God, Red Sox have a chance to be very good. In a way, if they sign Bregman, are they done? You'd like to see one more starting pitcher. The rotation ends with Oviedo and Sandoval. Let's see how else the Red Sox get involved. If they haven't put their chips in, this is a nervous Yankee fan talking. The Chicago White Sox, finally. We are here. What do you need to know? Murakami signed. That's exciting. Let's find out who he is. Basically 2 years to figure it out. Signed Anthony Kay and Sean Newcomb. Anthony Kay coming back from the NPB. Sean Newcomb, it looks like they have him listed as a starter right now. He had a nice year as like a reliever with a couple starts. I don't know. If I'll be honest, I'm reaching. A lot of young talent on the field I actually do like. Mydroth, Teal, Montgomery, Vargas. Will Luis Robert return to anything? Edgar Caro. Where does he land on our catcher tier list? It might just be Kyle Teal. Not yet. Maybe they'll be fun. Cleveland. This will be fun for me because I haven't looked in a while because we don't talk about Cleveland in the offseason. And that's because it's still the same. I guess updates if you're looking into Guardians. Chase DeLauder, the First-round pick, top prospect. I think they called him up for the postseason, having, not played. He's currently listed in the middle of their lineup. There's so many young ball players up and down the lineup. Will they move Stephen Kwan? As a baseball fan, I kind of hope so. As a Guardian fan, I guess they won't. Gavin Williams, Bybee, Ciccone, Logan Allen, Joey Cantillo. I don't know. It doesn't get me hyped up necessarily. They sign bullpen guys every year, which makes me laugh. Sean Armstrong, they signed from the Texas Rangers, who had a nice year last year, by the way. 2.31 ERA, 74 innings pitched. Did you know? I don't know. The guard dogs are going to be there, and it's going to be the guard dog formula. The Detroit Tigers traded Justin Henry Malloy for cash. Oh, no. To the Rays, so watch out for him at some point. That's not the story at all. The story is, are they involved on Bregman or Bichette? We've talked about this for a while. Are they going the other way? Are they going to trade Skubal? Could they still do other stuff and trade Skubal? Hasn't been any real whispers on the Skubal front. If you're a listener of mine, you know I haven't been into it the whole way. The value prop doesn't make sense to me, but sometimes things don't make sense to me. Simple guy. I don't know. I was very surprised when I looked up and down their lineup how many guys had currently their listed Fangraphs lineup. 1 through 8 has guys with a positive weighted runs created plus, which is not what you think about when you think about those Tigers. Their offense was just outside the top 10, arguably top 10, that you don't think of them that way. And it's a lot of young ball players that, I don't know, I kind of think the Tigers are going to roll it out there with Scoobs, and if they're in position at the deadline, which they will be because it's the AL Central, then you make the trade to try to really have an impactful October. But they could surprise me. They were in on Bregman, and I was never about that. Maybe they're back in. Maybe it's Bo. Maybe it's something else. It would be a lot cooler if they did. Houston. The story out today was that their stadium, being now called Daikin, was part of the reason Amai was fine signing there. I'm guessing the contract was too.
It's like a general tone of embracing the Japanese market.
Yeah, and there was some good, I forget if it was here or Talking Baseball, they said that Kikuchi had a nice run with Houston. Does any of that stuff matter? Can't hurt. Can't hurt. Your Houston Astros would like to see another starting pitcher because right now their 4, 5, 6 is McCullers, Burrows, and Ryan Weiss, who I'm not as familiar with as I'd like. And then the lefty thing just kills me because they probably have the most talented right-handed hitters in baseball on their team. Pena, Altuve, Correa, Paredes, Christian Walker, Yainer, Diaz. That's 6 guys that could be all-stars at their position as righty hitters. They have Yordan, but if he goes down like he did last year and has a slight history, is that rude? Would love to see a lefty hitter. Imagine if them and Tucker figure it out. If Tucker's market actually comes down to that 4-year opt-out crazy money, Houston likes those contracts. He'd fit in well there. I synced it. That'd be a fun little offseason twist. The Kansas City Royals extended Matt Quatraro. Huge. We got a haiku from Vinny Pasquantino about it, so that was nice. People like the Royals, and I don't know if I should be speaking with that tone. I guess I get caught up when we talked to Passan last year, and he was like, the Royals are set up for continued success because of how good Bobby Witt Jr. is, and in a way, I can't fade that. I guess I still don't get hung up on how good one guy is, but when you have one guy that good, when Maikel Garcia breaks out at age 25, Vinny Pasquantino, if he can be who he is at the plate, Big Sally continues to be who he is to a degree. Caglione, if that's a guy that could take the leap, fire me up for Kansas City Royals baseball. Also a sneaky Isaac Collins trade. Was it just Brewers devil magic? But that's an outfielder I've looked at for the Royals that I'm like, he could have a nice year. And I haven't said that with a lot of Royals outfielders going forward. Their pitching could kind of roll it out tomorrow. So Royals could be done. And Royals often not done. They like to actually compete in the sport, which I like about the franchise. The Angels, Swilly, stop listening right now. I actually gave her this very speech. The Angels signings this year are the most Angels things I've ever seen. Here are your 3 most recent Halos transaction. Kirby Yates, actually kind of like. 1 year, he's old, but if he clicks for a year, seen his ERA start with a 0. Jordan Romano, okay, got knocked around. Could he tap in for a year? Maybe. Drew Pomeranz, still doing it, still tricking him. But your last 3 signings can't be Yates, Romano, Pomeranz, Angels. That's just way too on brand. Before that, it's Manoah. And then it's the Gray Rod trade. So, hey, they've brought in pitchers, which is what people ask. You just wish there was something a little more so we could bank on. It's feeling Anaheim in Anaheim. The Minnesota Twins, I mean, this could arguably be our quickest one. Twins have been quiet, man. I know there's money and there was a TV contract and they have young talent and it's working with Trev can be tricky sometimes. You don't hate what you see, but what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. Eddie Julian looked good once. Can he find it? I don't know. You heard my voice break. You heard that I'm going to have to talk about them a lot this year, and I'm not optimistic. Hey, speaking of a tone not changing too much, very different reasons. The New York Yankees, as you know, we are Yankee fans. There were birdies whispering about Edward Cabrera to the Yankees, which seemed like a fit. They want another starting pitcher. They've been vocal about that as they're coming into camp thin, although they will be getting Cole and Rodon back during the season. They want Cody Bellinger. If they do not get Cody Bellinger, watch for a Yankees panic move. Cody Bellinger was very good for most of the season last year. And with the Blue Jays getting better and you look at the Yankees roster, the Yankees pitching has a chance to be special by midseason. The Yankees are going to be a good team to a degree. What degree is that? And the fact that we're talking about that with the New York Yankees just isn't where you're supposed to be when you have Judge entering the end of his prime. I don't know. Yankee fans in a mentally bad spot. So you guys like that. Seattle. Hey, Seattle, we haven't talked in a minute. You signed Josh Naylor early on, and everyone was like, that's fantastic. We love that for you. Rotation looks great still. Still the same names, man. Snaps for Seattle. Wu, Gilbert, Castillo, Kirby, and Miller. Bullpen looks ready to go. That Jose Ferrer trade that you might have forgot about early on this offseason. I'll tell you what, I kind of haven't had Seattle listed as a good-to-go team. I guess their fan base would love another infielder. Right now we have Ben Williamson at third and Cole Young at second. Cole Young, very real prospect, like some of his game tape last year, 22 years old. It'd be interesting if Eugenio, if his market doesn't develop, could we lock that up for another year? Would love another move from them. They also look great. Go Mariners, go. Jeff Passan likes their farm system. That was the other team he mentioned with the Royals last year as set up for success for years to come. Impressive stuff, Seattle. That's not how we've talked about you previously. Let's see it. The Tampa Bay Rays. Palacios, Diaz, Aranda, Caminero, Lowe, Mullins, Walls, Simpson, Ford. It feels Raysy. I don't know if I'm saying that in a good way. Man, their rotation was so stable for a little bit last year, and now it kind of doesn't feel that way. Although Shane McClanahan should be back. That's a very nice piece. Steven Matz and Joe Boyle currently round out the rotation. I need the Rays to feel like the Rays again, and it's been a little bit, man. It's really been a little bit, especially in this American League East right now, that I don't know. I'm currently not fazed by them. Hope I don't regret that. Texas Rangers. What is up with the Texas Rangers, huh? Nimmo trade. Nimmo for Simeon. That feels like it was years ago. It was. Shut up. Am I going to talk myself into this team again? Nimmo, Langford, Seager, Peterson, Berger, Carter, Young, Smith, Jansen. Yeah, I guess I won't. There's question marks kind of at every level, whether talent, injury, performance, or otherwise. The pitching, though, they were the best pitching last year, and that still looks fun. DeGrom, Evaldi, Leiter, Kumar, Rocker, Jacob Latz, currently listed as your fifth starter. Man, they put the pitching together. The bullpen was great last year, even though you don't like the names. I don't know. Texas tortured me for a little bit. I wanted it to kick in last year. They landed 81-81 on the schnozzle. I don't know. Do something that makes us excited. And then, how about the team to round out the American League? The Toronto Blue Jays. Scott Boras said they're controlling the next part of free agency, whether they're going in on Tucker or Bichette. Their front office came out and said if we currently sign another good player, we're taking away playing time from another good player. And that's true. Their lineup looks kind of like it did during the postseason. The bench looks like a really good MLB bench. They could do matchups. Okamoto, starting to regret that signing for other teams. Although Okamoto had a post that said he laid out all 30 hats in front of his kid, and they pointed to the Toronto hat, which I don't know. I'm not going to knock it because T.Y. Hilton, why did I say that so weird? T.Y. Hilton has a very similar story with how he picked his college, and I believe he went to, like, Florida International over, like, much better schools because his kid picked that hat, and T.Y. Hilton becoming really good was made that really fun. So I guess I'm not going to knock it. I don't know, man. The Blue Jays are great. They have starting pitching depth. They have bullpen depth. They have lineup depth. I'm a little jealous because they're also probably not done. And then Yankees, are you sleeping? Sorry to bring it back there. And pause. That was the American League. Brought to you by SeatGeek. Today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. They're the geeks of seats. Code JOHNBOY10, 10% off. Baseball season rolling around. Attendance just goes up every year now. Whoops. Sorry about it. And before then, you could go see NFL. Couple more college football playoff games. NBA, the World Cup is coming this summer. Wherever there are seats, SeatGeek, they're the geeks of them. That means they know what they're doing. 35 million downloads. I think that number went up. SeatGeek is the number one rated ticketing app, and we have a code, so go use it. Save yourself money. JOHNBOY10, 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. 10%, any tickets with promo code JOHNBOY10. Make sure you click the link in the description. Download the app. Have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it. Later, Gators. That wasn't part of the read. That was just me kind of freestyling at the end there. NL. Oh, I didn't pause my timer. Damn it.
Damn.
Were there any wins from the AL? Did I stumble in anything good there? That's kind of tough. Live review of yourself.
All the things that stick out. Angels still Angels.
Haven't heard from Seattle in a while.
They feel like they could be in on infield, and there are infielders.
I've kept saying that Baltimore and Atlanta were my two, like, set it and forget it teams. You could say that for Seattle. So I'm sorry I've been leaving you out, guys. Well, that's because you hate Seattle, bro. Come on, Seattle people. I enjoyed my time out there. I've been out there twice. All-Star game.
Only time I've been there.
That's it. Well, I went out for work once years ago. Have I been back? No. Okay. I'd like to. I'd like to see you out there. Or no, we were debating it for the postseason. That's what it was. Because they went to Game 7 with Toronto. People forget that. Didn't Toronto hit a homer late? Was that Springer?
Springer sent them.
Crazy how all that played out.
Hey.
Okay. The National League. 15 minutes or so. In 3, 2, 1. The first team that kicks off the National League are my Snakes, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Again, had to sell last year. There was kind of a weird feeling around that. a little bit as they added Corbin Burns before the season, but their pitching just sprinted away from them. And I guess Zach Gallen, could there be a return there? The Diamondbacks do like to operate that way as a franchise. Rotation could definitely use an arm, although they signed Mike Soroka to start, which is one of my hated things because I think Mike Soroka is going to have a moment as an elite reliever in this sport. They just need to let him do it. Bullpen feels a little thin. The lineup can get you excited. Who Corbin Carroll is in this league, who Perdomo and Marte are in this league. I guess Marte is the story. He's one of the biggest trade candidates that's been rumored this offseason. If that happens, the tone and tenor in Arizona, I feel like, is going to change very quickly. They also have their owners a little bit of a wild card that if one of the price tags gets to a comfy place for them, they'll dance. Excited to see if they will. The Atlanta Braves, as I mentioned, on my set it and forget it list, Yastrzemski. I don't know. I know that's not as sexy as some of you may like in the corner outfield, but he's had a very nice career going. That feels like a stable corner outfield option for them. Jurickson Profar, remember how he missed chunk of the season? When he came back, he was a pretty solid version of himself. And Ha-Sung Kim returned. That their lineup at every position, you feel pretty good about it. Could you get a platoon righty with Yastrzemski? Yeah, Austin Hayes is out there. Let's see if they go that way with it. Do they do something with their catching depth? Do they get another starting pitcher as insurance for these guys? They could not. BBD, Ian Hamilton's a Brave.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay, that's good. I really like their bullpen. Note that. There's your information on the Braves. The Chicago Cubs, here we go. I said he might be mentioned 3 times. Didn't mention it with the Yankees just because of frustration. It seems like Edward Cabrera is going to the Cubs. Ken Rosenthal tweets close, which you'd like to think they can get that through the finish line unless there's injury stuff there, which there is. Cubs are mental warfare for me still. I like almost everything in the lineup. The lineup still looks really good, even having potentially lost Kyle Tucker. How much are they going to lean on their young guys? Moises Ballesteros and Matt Shaw currently listed in the lineup. Owen Casey, a big prospect, currently listed on the bench. Are any of those pieces potentially going for Edward Cabrera? Let's find out. Are the Cubs going to roll that out there and then see what's available at the deadline, see who these young guys are? I feel like there's too much of that in baseball now. I don't know if we have a way to counter it. And yeah, their rotation is a lot of good. Boyd, Horton, Imanaga, Tyone, Colin Ray. Again, if you slot Cabrera into that rotation, you have a good rotation. It's been a weird thing with the Cubs that, and maybe this is going back to the Cubs team that won, that Arrieta was such like a force as that was happening, that like would like to see the force guy. And I know they can say like Cade Horton was that, but there are a lot of guys that go on nice stretches. Hey, maybe Horton is that guy, and that's the answer. In their bullpen feels like if you had it in a video game, you would hate it. But the Cubs deserve some credit. They've been tapping into arms that, let's see what happens with them the rest of the way. Are they involved in bigger free agents? Don't know. Cincinnati Reds, I don't know. I'm mad at my Reds a little bit. Their moves this offseason, J.J. Bleday and Dane Myers as a potential outfield platoon, doesn't get me as jazzy as I'd like. They have a couple young people. Noelvi Marte came back and was actually a contributing ball player last year. Sal Stewart is a big prospect for them that got a taste last year. How do they fit into the equation? Again, a reminder that their rotation ended up being like, wow. Hunter Green, Abbott, Singer, Lodolo, Chase Burns getting 8 MLB starts under his belt. What does that look like? They've been a trade rumor team. In a way, they can roll this out there. It just doesn't get me jazzy. And this is a franchise and a team that I want to be jazzy about because when Ellie's fun, it's so fun. And it just feels like they haven't had offensive firepower in so long. Like they were in on Schwarber. If you're in on 33-year-old Kyle Schwarber, the DH, should you not be in on Bregman? Should you not be in on other guys? Like, I know Cincinnati as a city doesn't pop off the map as LA and New York do, But, like, no, it does pop off the map having the best offer. And, like, is there a guy that has turned down the best offer from Cincinnati? I don't think that's happened. So if you're willing to go there with Schwarber, shouldn't some of these other guys be in play?
Shouldn't we be hearing that you're trying?
Doesn't seem ridiculous to me, but here I am, just a man, talking about baseball. And the next team is the Colorado Rockies. I don't know, Zeke Tovar, you might see some of him in the WBC, so that's good. Jordan Beck stole some bases last year. Hunter Goodman, what he did as a catcher last year really does deserve a lot more love. He kind of got crushed by Cal Raleigh. Otherwise, I think there would have been a lot of more Hunter Goodman catching talk. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe it is. There's a lot of young ball players. I don't know. It just feels so uncompetitive. It hurts. I hope they have fun. Jimmy Herget had a really nice year. It makes me sad. The Dodgers, the opposite end of the spectrum. They just traded Estuary Ruiz to the Marlins, so maybe we'll see him running around a baseball field. Dodgers still very much rumored for Kyle Tucker, still very much rumored for Bichette. I think people are expecting them to still get a big free agent. It's just, who is that? And originally there were Teoscar trade rumors. There was Glasnow trade rumors. I think those were all made up by people that weren't the Dodgers, because I think they want to go out and win again. Their current six-man rotation, the sixth man is Roki Sasaki, who maybe the fun exercise is, how many teams would he be the one man for? Because I think there's a few. And you could probably also play that with Otani, Glasnow, Snell, and Yamamoto. They signed Edwin Diaz. Tanner Scott was the top free agent reliever the year before. Brewstar listed in the bullpen. Yeah. Haven't seen him in a while. So is Will Klein. Memorable performance. Embarrassment of riches. Embarrassment.
How many teams, if they had Roki, would he be their number one? How many teams, if they had Roki, would he be their closer? And he's just their sixth option.
And maybe the more important reminder, if you haven't looked it up, however you listen to music, Bailalo Roki. It's the song of the year. It's the song of the century. I listen to it at the gym every time. Bailalo Roki. The Marlins just acquired Cade Bragg for Eric Wagaman. Went to the Twins. I didn't mention that in Twins talk. Sorry. I don't know. I'm interested to see some Marlins playoff odds when they come out. What does that say about me? DraftKings. They have some young ball players in the lineup. I don't know what you do with it. I don't know if it means anything. It feels like they're the NL East. It feels like they're the Miami Dolphins. Like they're going to go 8-9-ish. They're going to win a couple brutal series against the Braves and Phillies and Mets that feels torturesome to them. It feels like they're going to finish above. If there was a DK bet that was, are the Marlins going to finish above one of the Braves, the Mets, or the Phillies? I would take the bet. Like the Marlins just kind of find a way. 79 and 83 last year. They find a way to be whatever that is. Sandy and Yuri Perez. Ryan Weathers, Braxton Garrett, Edward Cabrera, we think just got traded. I don't know. I might start a Marlins over 500 hype train, which that's lame, so maybe I won't. Milwaukee Brewers, are we invincible? Just signed Drew Rom to a minor league contract, so get his All-Star Game jersey ready. I don't know. Unfortunately, there's not a ton to say, but I guess that's also complimentary. The team that won 97 games in the regular season. Jefferson Caro, Edgar's brother. We've got a new pair of catching brothers, people. Get in on this. Edgar and Jefferson Caro. If they're not related, well, fuck me. Let's get Google on that. I'm pretty sure they are. I've looked into this. And then, yeah, every dude out of their bullpen can be a version of Gross. Are they going to trade Freddie Peralta? That's kind of the thing out there. I don't feel like they'll be in a rush to. They also get to operate differently because they have guys like Chad Patrick pitch well for them. Quinn Priester last year. Remember Mizorowski? How wild was that? He was kind of big for them in the postseason, too. Brewers are here. They just brew crew, and that's that. The New York Mets. What are we doing, baby? Lindor, Semien, Soto, Polanco, Vientos, Beatty, Alvarez, Carson Bengay, Tyrone Taylor. That's with Mauricio Angel Acuna on the bench. I don't know. Again, it almost seems like too many parts, like the NBA version of not getting enough guys enough minutes. Baseball has a finds a way, says the Italian. Finds a way of sorting these things out. The Mets have to do more. You have Juan Soto going right now. Lindor's 32. Whether it's pitching, again, the bullpen, they did do work. They've added Weaver. They've added Williams, which I know there were some jokes at the time there. AJ Minter, okay. I can dream on the Mets bullpen. I'd like something else for the rotation depth that ran out last year. The lineup, we need work here. You lost Pete Alonso. You lost Nimmo. Soto, man. That kind of parlays into the next team alphabetically. The Phillies still have some work to do. The Phillies have taken a step back currently. In their lineup, I know they re-signed Schwarber, but there's no real Muto. Rafael Marchand is listed as your current catcher. Adolis Garcia is listed as the corner outfielder. And hey, again, you can believe and dream on Adolis Garcia coming to life on that team at that stadium, absolutely. You could also dream not. Like he has not been good. With the rookie Justin Crawford listed as their center fielder, Phillies, vamo. They do have a couple young players around the fringes with Aiden Miller and Andrew Painter. And I listed Justin Crawford. Are the Phillies going to find out with those guys? Do they have the ability to find out? Is it going to be find out till mid-season? Very interested to see how they handle that because currently the Phillies have taken a step back. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Horowitz, Lowe, Brandon Lau, Brian Reynolds, Ryan O'Hearn, Nick Gonzalez, O'Neal Cruz. I've hated things more. I think me and Spencer Horowitz went follow for follow on Instagram. So I don't know. Mark that down. And his hitting stats in the bigs have actually been pretty good. I don't know. It's the same exact story, right? Like bringing another hitter, bringing a form of excitement. Paul Skeens is off to a historic start of his career. Just a reminder, his ERA started with a 1 last year. Keller, Ashcraft, Bubba Chandler. I don't know, Pittsburgh. Don't be done yet. Although I like the O'Hearn sighting. Let's bring in something else. Let's believe. Is that crazy? San Diego Padres. Okay, Sung Moon Song, won't you come? They signed him. He's listed as their second baseman right now. I don't know. I think, again, Padres pitching, which I think their fan base gives them some snaps for. Young Randy Vasquez put together 26 contributing starts last year. J.P. Sears, I think teams think there's a little more than his ERA put out there last year. As a 5, King, Pivetta, Musgrove, Vasquez, Sears. Again, I guess what hurts them is we talk about competing with the Dodgers. And they kind of have. And actually good Padres commentary. Their 23 season, which oddly enough was their season with the highest expectations, that's kind of taken a lot of the shine off the Padres. Otherwise, they've been 89-plus wins the 3 seasons around it. Which, that's pretty good. In a way, that's impressive, especially if you look at the history of San Diego Padres baseball. We know they will get creative. We know they'll look into different ways to get their work done. That middle of the lineup, Laureano, Sheets, Bogarts, it can work. I mean, I bang the table about Ramon Laureano more than anyone. You'd like that to feel slightly different. We never know how they're going to get involved. San Francisco Giants. Giants are they a set it and forget it? You kind of hope not. You'd like to see one more transaction. They added 2 starters to their rotation. Tyler Mahle, and Adrian Hauser. That, I don't know, both those guys actually had very nice contributing seasons last year. I know it's, again, when we're talking the Dodgers, like, could we not play this game? Although Logan Webb is one of the studs of baseball. And Robbie Ray had a solid year last year that they could be done. Bryce Eldridge, currently listed as their DH. I don't like when 21-year-olds are listed as DHs. Unless you hit the ton out of the ball. I bleeped myself out there. You all know what I was about to say. They have a bunch of 9-figure guys on their team. Jung-Hoo Lee, Willie Adames, Devers, Matt Chapman, Robbie Ray. Logan Webb, did he get that extension game on? They've kind of shelled out their money. Let's see if they have anything up their sleeve. St. Louis, unfortunately, this can be a slight pass. We know they are retooling. Will they trade Brendan Donovan? Seeing reports, they traded away their money. I think if they trade away the money in Sonny Gray and Wilson Contreras, both to the Red Sox, by the way, give Heim some time. Brendan Donovan, if they trade him, they want assets back because Brendan Donovan is hit. It's an impressive baseball reference when you bring it up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know in St. Louis, and I think they're okay with me stopping and not talking about it more. Your last team, the Washington Nationals. Man, a team that their depth always freaks me out. Co-closers Clayton Beeter and Cole Henry. Interesting. Will they trade Mackenzie Gore? 2 years left of Mackenzie Gore. He should demand a pretty big contract. Could they figure something out? They used to give big contracts. Could they put a team around Mackenzie Gore in 3 years? You'd really hope so. Because you see talented guys around the field. But, man, when you get to the second half of that lineup, when you get to the second half of that rotation, you get to that bullpen, not competitive. Really weird. And they just got a new GM last year or so, and I think they're thinking long-term, which haven't we been thinking long-term for a while? Wish there was better news in the nation's capital. Hey! That's your baseball, 30 for 30. Did we learn anything there? The Dodgers are really good.
The Caros are not related.
They aren't.
No.
I got to thank God.
Edgar is Cuban. Jefferson, one F in Jefferson, Venezuelan.
I mean, that doesn't mean they're not related. It probably means they're not related.
There's a page in the biographical information section on Edgar Caro. Talking about the 2023 Futures game. One of the opposing catchers was the unrelated Jefferson Caro, who's from Venezuela. He was traded to the White Sox.
So they're brothers and we both play baseball. Hermanos. Okay, I'm glad I double-checked that. Because it felt right, and then it felt wrong.
It was a good ask. Jefferson older.
Jefferson older, less opportunity. Those Brewers.
Both young.
Edgar. What if I told you Edgar Caro had an 852 OPS versus lefties? You like that? Dodgers, really good. That was kind of my biggest reminder there. I mean, man, I actually may do that as an exercise. Snell, Glass, Ohtani, Yamamoto, and then Roki. Which Roki, I understand the conversation's not there, but what we saw from him in the postseason, those 4 guys could be the opening day starter on how many teams? They're going for a 3-peat, and that's where this exercise got me. Great. I hope you guys like that. I like doing that. It's always a fresh reminder. And it'll be interesting how many of those teams get a little slight twist, and not a slight twist at all. If you sign a Bregman, if you sign Tucker, Bichette, Ranger, Framber, it's a really big boost. Changes how your whole pitching rotation, your whole lineup feels. And it's still the crazy part of this offseason. Before you get to Ketel Marte, Skubal, Mackenzie Gore, feels like it hasn't happened. And I guess trades cannot happen. The free agents kind of have to sign. excited to see what the rest of that story tells us. With that, I mentioned it a couple times. Edward Cabrera, we think traded on those Cubs. Let's see what happens prospect-wise. Let's see what happens trade-wise. Again, there's a lot of rumors on Yankees internet that a trade had been done. Apparently not. And hey, the Cubs stuff isn't finalized yet. That's why we didn't open with it. And who knows? I mean, Ken Rosenthal, pretty good. Pretty good. That if he says it's pretty close, then means it's pretty close. Cubs fans, I guess, let me know. I don't know. As Yankee fans, we were pretty excited to get Edward Cabrera at that price for a couple years, potentially peaking. There's some injury risk, but feels like we could say that with every pitcher.
Is there somebody Cubs fans wanted more? Is he the guy they had been wanting?
It's also interesting, talent-wise on the Cubs rotation, would he pure talent? Would he be the guy you pointed to? Again, I know Cade Horton went on a run last year, and pure talent isn't everything. Like, I've been a guy preaching about Imanaga, and how good has Matthew Boyd been, even though I've faded the fade there wrongly multiple years. Let's see how that develops in the other stuff. I will wrap up with 5 minutes. Let's see if it is. Probably won't be. That's probably 10. On the football, as I told you, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, there are going to be primetime football games on in front of you, whether you're an enjoyer or not, or if there's a time to tune in, it's kind of now. Starts off Thursday night, Miami versus Ole Miss. Is the U back? Rumored back. Their coach makes me laugh, Mario Cristobal, big old tough guy. That his whole thing is kind of winning on the lines, and that's how Miami has been back here. Miami with a couple NFL dudes on their D-line. Bain, B-A-I-N, so not like Batman, but in a way, yes. And Carson Beck, the former Georgia quarterback who was on path to be like the one pick of the draft last year, had a bad year, transferred to Miami, entered in the sports news for a couple different reasons off the field. Not so great. Hey, he's leading the way. He hasn't done a ton, but Miami's got some really talented guys on the field. Wide receiver number 10. Start saying guys' names like that. Shows I'm watching the game tape. Miami is playing Ole Miss, and if you listen to last episode, Miami 3.5-point favorites versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss is kind of living out a TV movie right now. The quarterback transferred in from not the NCAA level. Their coach got poached by the state of Louisiana. He's gone. Half the coaching staff is going to Louisiana, but is still coaching this team. So in between, the transfer portal's open. LSU's like recruiting guys, and they're coaching and stuff. Insane. The whole thing is kind of nutty. That Ole Miss, the Rebels, are kind of being rebellious against their whole coach and the whole world. Tony is wide receiver number 10 on Miami. When he gets the ball, it's just one of those guys you look at and you're like, oh, okay. Like he is a problem. I don't know. I'm kind of shocked Miami is favorites. They are so dominant on the line, and that's part of the reason they won their last game against Ohio State, because as much as we love football and we like looking at the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, a lot of it is really won on the lines, and Miami has that. I don't know. Favorites against Ole Miss. Maybe I'm looking into the movie too much, but I think this Ole Miss team is playing for a lot more than just a college football playoff. They're playing for a weird, crazy spot in the history book. And, man, there's not something much more motivating than bleep you. I think that's part of the reason we like sports, or we look back at old NBA rivalries like the Bad Boy Pistons and stuff like that. When there's a little bit of hate or anger, or you don't love us, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend hate, they had Lane Kiffin left. And I'm sure, I'm sure a chunk of that team is smart enough to be like, man, he got thrown a lot of money, especially while the transfer portal's happening and all these guys are transferring to get more money. Lane Kiffin had an opportunity he couldn't turn down. He got offered a ton of money at a program with a ton of money to go pursue his next thing. That didn't allow him to pursue this national title with the team. And, of course, the school kind of didn't allow that. That was part of their negotiating. But the team kind of came out and after was like, if you're gone, be gone. Was that an accent? Their quarterback for Ole Miss, Chambliss, he is an absolute treat. Trinidad Chambliss. I think there's NFL stuff in there. Again, am I biased from watching one full Ole Miss game and highlights? Maybe. But I don't know. The dude lights up a room. The dude lights up a field. Let's see how he tries to survive this Miami D-line. It could also end in a nightmare. Like, I won't mark that down. Like, the way he tries to make plays against this Miami D-line could end up in a 4-interception game. Not rooting for that. Openly rooting for Ole Miss. Although this game is win-win. If the U is back, I mean, some of the Utes don't know how cool the U used to be. I mentioned 30 for 30 before. Go watch that one. I was going to add another comment. I'll leave it out. Go check out the 30 for 30 on the U. Friday night, thinking that we just might watch some more football. Oregon versus Indiana, a classic Big Ten rivalry. Oregon has one loss on the season. It was to Indiana. The Hoosiers are 14-0. They are the other made-for-TV movie left in this dance. They played in Oregon, which Autzen is one of the more respected college football stadiums. Just a rough, rowdy environment in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. The Ducks were outmatched in this game. At one point, it did get tied up at 2020. There was a pick six. So it was 2013, made it 2020. Indiana goes on, touchdown, field goal, 30-20 final. In Autzen, a lot of the people that cover college football feel like it was more of a blowout than that. Since that game, people do think Oregon has grown as a team. They think their defense has gotten better. They think Dante Moore, a potential number one pick at QB, has shown some growth as he's gotten more reps under his belt. And they are playing against the projected number one QB and Fernando Mendoza, who won the Heisman with Indiana this year. Absolutely quirky personality is the polite way to say it. The rude thing that a lot of people are running away with is he's a nerd. If you watch the quarterback show, someone compared his personality to Kirk Cousins. He's just kind of geeky. But a good life lesson for everyone, be yourself. It works for him, especially as when you're winning in all sports, whatever kind of works. Indiana, the most losing program in college football history, is 14-0. Signetti God, that was in the group chat a lot this week, just about who he is. I really like Oregon's coach, Dan Lanning. That guy gives a powerful press conference, too. That media-wise, this game should be a treat. I mean, these two teams, again, they play in the same conference now, that there could be a budding rivalry here. Indiana's 3.5-point favorites, which means they think this is going to be a game. And I wouldn't bet. Oregon, who they are as a franchise, the athletes that they have there, the coach that they have there. Yes, I don't know. If you like hashtag content, give me Ole Miss versus Indiana in a little over a week, because that would be an absolute treat. Like I said, Ole Miss, Miami, that's more win-win. In Oregon, I believe they've never won a natty, where their program has been the last 25 years. Would still be a fun story, but everything that's going on in Indiana. And we've got literally what should be the first two picks in the draft, Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore, heads up in a college semifinals. Pretty electric. Although the Jets, who have the 2 pick, Todd McShay did come out and say, if you're Dante Moore and the Jets have the 2 pick, go back to college. Really tough. Todd doesn't have like a dog in the fight right now. He's just talking. Well-respected guy. So that'll be your college football that leads to a championship game Monday, January 19th. Monday. It's okay. We'll figure it out. And then your NFL around the horn, what you should get prepared for this weekend. It starts off Trevor Plouffe in attendance. The Carolina Panthers host the Rams in North Carolina. That is your 4:30 Saturday game. If you remember, these two teams did play, and the Panthers beat the Rams 31-28 in Carolina. It was kind of a signature win for them. Kind of a good back-and-forth affair with Carolina winning on a 43-yard Bryce Young, Tet McMillan up for Rookie of the Year. I think Shuck's going to get it. The Rams are a Super Bowl favorite for a lot of people still. That they are, I think it's 10.5 point spread. I'll be interested if I was placing a bet. I think I would take the 10.5 points just because what this game means for the Panthers, who have been so bad as a franchise. I don't know. It's at home. They beat this team. You should have some internal confidence. The Rams are a much better team, flying west to east, I believe in. Playoff football, I believe in. Rams, you still have to think they win. And, the other side of it, this game could get ugly for the Carolina Panthers. I think that's how much better of a team the Rams are. And McVay coaching-wise and having lost to them, could that end up hurting the Panthers more? 10.5 points in a playoff game, I don't know. Against a team that beat them. The other game on Saturday, Packers-Bears, baby. Oh, NFC North division. The Bears, who went 11-6 this year, I may have to write a full apology to Caleb, although Ben Johnson, Lions didn't make the playoffs. Anyways, Packers are 9-7-1. Feels like they've been floating through this season where there was a little bit they were looking like one of the primo teams in football. They started playing a little colder. Micah Parsons got hurt. That has definitely changed their feeling. I'll say this, though. In any division, come on. Fire it up. The spread of this game is Green Bay is favored by 1.5. In Chicago, the 11-6 Bears. I don't like that for Green Bay. Motivationally for the Bears. But yeah, Caleb falls just short of 4,000 yards. I love their tools. I love their weapons. I'm in on Ben Johnson. And I've loved what Caleb's been doing, man. He's kind of been leading. He wore the Ben Johnson in his high school jersey to the game the other week. I love that stuff. Their camaraderie seems fantastic. That should be the fun game of the day if the Rams get their business done. Sunday, Bills-Jags at 1. That's kind of tough for both teams. Although I love the 4:30. Bills-Jags. Bills are like everyone's favorite out of the AFC because Josh Allen's the best quarterback remaining, maybe the best quarterback in football, depending where you're at with Mahomes or whatever else you like. And it's a fair argument. Trevor Lawrence ended up having a great year and has been cooking down the stretch. Jags have a good deal. Jags won 13 games. Something where Jake was wrong in football this year, I thought it was going to go horrible after the Duval. Because how many guys bounce back from a press conference like that? It's hard to be good anyways, but you do that. Turns out it doesn't matter. Jags are 13-4. Buffalo is a 1.5 point favorite. So that's kind of tough. I feel like that should be the 8 p.m. game. Josh Allen and like a good Jaguars team. 4:30. There's something about the Niners at 4:30 for me that I just hits a chord. They're playing the Eagles. Eagles in Philly, 4.5 point favorites. So that kind of shows you where everyone's at with them. And the Niners defense has just been brutal. But their offense has been electric, and they have Shanahan. And the Eagles hit their clunky part of the season that they haven't felt so great for a little while now. You know who the Eagles are. They've been to the dance a couple times. They are hashtag content if you're into that. You don't know if they could beat the Niners by 3 scores. They could get into a fight on their own sideline. Sirianni could get fired after the game. There's a lot of ways it can go with Philly. That 4:30 game is just chef's kiss. Cannot wait to watch how that sorts out. The Niners defense just might not have enough for what the Eagles can bring on a given day. The nightcap, Chargers-Patriots. The 14-3 Patriots, an MVP candidate, Drake May. They host the Chargers. Chargers have been banged up for a while. They did get some rest last week, so, like, does that help them? Is Herbert ready to go? I don't know. I think home game at New England, the kind of dream season they've had. I love me some Harbaugh and Herbert, and I don't know, something about the Chargers. It's always felt like there's a little more in there, but I think injuries and this matchup, too much for them. Patriots -3.5. I wouldn't be surprised if they go big. They're good. Drake May is really good. Rabel's a really good coach. Diggs has been on a snap count this year. Maybe they open that up for the postseason. Trevion Henderson, can he break out even more, kind of like he did in Ohio State's postseason? Ooh. And then Monday, Texans-Steelers. Texans, best defense in football, going against the Steelers. Rodgers and Tomlin trying to figure out this last ride. Content-wise, should be good. Seeing what they can draft up. But a lot of people really like the Texans. They are on a 9-game winner. Let's count them up. Is it more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-game win streak heading into the postseason. People respect their defense as the best, as the most physical, all three levels. Going against Rodgers in that limited Steelers offense, although they get DK Metcalf back. And Steelers find a way. We just did this. On a Monday night in Pittsburgh, that they get another go at it. And I don't know, if you believe in the script writers, Rodgers trying to slink his way through a final postseason, I don't. Houston -3.5. That's probably where you want to be. We'll be back Monday, so we'll have talked about some of the other stuff, and we'll still get to think about that one again. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of the week. Go sports. Baseball. Fire up the stove, babe. Make sure you guys share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. We love you.